Imams what the Imams were dealing with. When the Imams were dealing with hadith, they were also dealing with the manifestation of those hadith in the community. Imam Malik, rahimahullah, had the amal of the people of the practice of the people of Medina Munawwara in front of him. So when he was confused about what a hadith mentioned, he could look at this and he could try to understand it. Imam Abu Hanifa was dealing with the hadith, but in light of the Sahaba and their heritage that he had inherited from them of just 70 years. In fact, Imam Abu Hanifa saw a Sahabi, he saw Anas ibn Malik. Right? Because some of the last Sahaba, they died at the end of the first 100th century. Imam Abu Hanifa was born in 80 Hijri. So he was seeing Islam as practiced by the Sahaba and Tabi'een. They were still very close to that time, and corruption had not happened as much as it is today. We're 1300 years after that. So today, all you can go on to develop your fifth madhab is the hadith only. And believe me, hadith are not as simple that you just read it and understand it. There'd be no reason for ulama to write commentaries on hadith. And not just one commentary, multiple commentaries. Take Sahih al-Bukhari for example. You've got tens of commentaries written on there to explain the narrations. Because sometimes within the same chapter of Sahih al-Bukhari, you'll have contradictions. Meaning, the Prophet ﷺ said one thing here, he seems to be saying something else in another hadith, just a few down in the same chapter. Who's going to reconcile this? That's what the ulamas burnt their night fuel to do for us, for centuries. So theoretically, you can have a fifth madhab, but it will not be based on practice. It will not be based on a practical manifestation of action. It will just be based on theory. Whereas what the four madhabs had is literally what they saw people doing, and that helped them a lot. I'd rather go with that than something of today with all the corruption that we have in the Muslim world and in general. Which one would you go for? Right? So somebody claiming today, I've got it right after 1300 years, personally I think that's crazy. Almost as if we were blind for the rest of our history. So that's one of the big things. Nobody is calling for Quran and Sunnah directly. They're calling you to a fifth madhab, because if you looked at Quran and Sunnah directly and formed your own opinion, they will still reject you. You can challenge them to that. This is what it is. Okay, a few other issues.